You've heard that sound, and boy, the fade out on it is so good. So you know it's Friday. For some of you, it's Peter Dunn, Pete the Planner Show. This episode brought to you by Indiana 529. Right now, if you go to myindiana529.com, those are the numbers 529. Don't spell them out, at least not in this instance. Myindiana529.com. There's a contest where you can upload a picture of the person you're saving for, and if you are selected, you will win $529 contribution into your account. Welcoming in the crew, Dame Kristen. Dame, my daughter finds out tonight whether she got her first real job, and with that has become a lot of mentions of her going to college, which has got me thinking a lot more about the 529 we've been contributing to for the last 16 years. I'm curious with you, with a teen daughter and a teen son, whether life's moments remind you of, oh God, thank God we're saving.
Oh yeah, very similarly, my daughter already got her first real job for this summer as well. So she's going to be in charge of making sure people don't die, which is a little scary. Got to be honest with you. She's going to be a lifeguard, Kristen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Kristen looks skeptical. Kristen, how are you?
I have been better, but we're fine. We're fine.
Experiencing the pleasures of pregnancy?
Indeed.
Yes. You guys, I had a new moment this morning, not what I talked about in pre-show, but something a little different, arguably related, and maybe you will connect the dots once you hear this. I did pre-workout for the first time this morning. First of all, it works. Like, I felt like I saved like 24 orphans on the way from the office to the gym just because I was on pre-workout. Then I lifted a tremendous amount of weight, but I also said dumb stuff on national TV. So, and by the way, it tastes terrible. It's the worst. Dame, have you experienced the world of pre-workout?
No. Did they try and fool you and say that has some kind of flavor?
Oh, yeah. And like I had it on the counter yesterday, and Ted walks in from school and he goes, oh, is it some dumb flavor? And I was like, well, yeah. I had no idea he had any concept of this because I barely do. And I looked, and it's white gummy bear is the flavor of.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it was bad. Kristen, pre-workout?
No, it gives me the jitters. I don't care for it.
Well, let me show you this. It works. Dame, we talk about the progress on the show. I reported I had chins early in the year. One of our listeners said, hey, I got the guy for you. He's the guy for me. I want to show you this morning what the impact of working with him and the pre-workout is. This is 688 pounds on the leg press this morning, which it turns out is a lot. Is a lot.
Okay. I mean, anybody could have put that there, Pete.
That is a good point, but it was me. It was me who actually did the gig there. For those, by the way, there's a lot of talk about YouTube becoming the place for people to consume podcasts. Have you guys listened to this?
I've heard another podcast actually talking about it fairly recently.
Kristen, are you in? I mean, you're the youngest here. Are you hip to the game?
Well, I think we've talked about before that I watch most of the podcasts that I consume.
Yeah, most of my podcasts are when I'm walking or when I'm trying to fall asleep, and neither of those are conducive to visual consumption. But that being said, hey, if you want to consume this here podcast on YouTube, by all means do it. And I'm going to be trying to add more visual elements to the show as a thank you, and also the annoyance of people who just listen audibly.
Sorry.
Sorry. This week on the show, we are going to beat the living daylights out of something I created a while ago, the ideal household budget. This was a very long time. I can't even tell you how long ago this was. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's helpful to take the percentages of what people should spend on stuff, my own fresh take, and put it out there. And it became the basis of some of the work we do here every day at Your Money Line. However, it was so long ago, there weren't even things like There were so many services that we all pay for today that didn't even exist when I came, which is sort of wild. There's the 5-minute.
There it is.
Sound, the airlock sound. No one even knows what it is. What in the world? Who is in the pipes? Kristen?
I don't know, but 525.
Is it the baby?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
You really didn't experience this until probably about the time.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And Caitlin's gone.
Yeah, Caitlin hates
Okay, so anyway, today I'm going to give the ideal household budget, and you guys are going to beat the pants off of it. Then one of you is going to give your own budget, and we're going to argue about it. And then we're going to do the other one, and we're all going to argue about that. So needless to say, there'll be a lot of name calling, a lot of profanity, a lot of tears today on the show. Kristen, that's what you have in mind, right?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Any point in time you need to exit the show to take care of business, by all means, feel free.
Thanks.
Dame, same with you.
Thanks.
All right, so let's go into this. Who do we believe? A little pregame wager here. Who's going to have the best budget? I'm betting against myself, so I got to go with one of you two. Who's going to have the best one?
There's only one answer here, Pete.
I know. Oh, we're just trying to get some controversy that doesn't exist. We know it's Kristen.
Yes.
Okay.
Oops.
She should go last.
Probably.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. I've been waiting until 10 or 11 minutes in to do this, but let's do it now.
Go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
If this is the first time you've listened to this show, it's a radio show. We record a radio show on a live video stream, and that audio is a podcast. That's actually the best explanation I've had of this.
Yeah. It's very accurate. Easy to understand. Well done.
Okay. Have you guys been, real answers only, have you guys been listening to Navigating Now at all?
I do, but I haven't. I didn't this week at all.
I had one on Tuesday when I talked about producer price index, which is the precursor to inflation. It basically says it's an index of how much prices are going up for the raw materials producers use to produce a product. Mm-hmm. And well, that's something I'd been loosely familiar with before, but in preparation for the show, I kind of dug into it. Really interesting metric, right? It's just like, it truly is the precursor to inflation. And if you compare it to inflation, you can also see if PPI is not going up and inflation is, then you could argue that the manufacturer is just juicing the price and taking the gains. So like, I didn't have time because I have a job, but I wanted to go back to like COVID times and look at PPI versus inflation during those times and see what was the truth there. Was PPI staying pretty tight, but inflation was climbing? Because there was all those claims that it was just CEOs taking profits, but that would tell, wouldn't it?
Remind me, does PPI account for labor costs?
But I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe so. But you just blew up my theory. So
sorry.
No. This entire show is about you guys correcting me, telling me how to do things in a better way, which is, I mean that honestly, not passive aggressively.
Then we're off to a great start.
Let's do the show in 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. Email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com, and we'll maybe talk about your question on the air for an hour. Or you can listen to the podcast, the Pete the Planner Show, wherever you get your podcasts, including, Kristen, video platforms such as YouTube.
I believe it's pronounced YouTube.
Kristen Elanius joins us, as well as Damian Dunn. Hello, Dame.
Hello, Pete.
Dressed like the Duffer today. Nice visual reference for the radio audience.
Celebration of the PGA Championship.
Oh, well, I hope they do a good job with that. All right. So this week on the show, we are talking about the ideal household budget, something I came up with years and years and years and years and years ago. And it's sort of like, with your take-home pay, how should you allocate those funds to the important things in your life? So in the first segment today, I'm going to explain it. You guys are going to tell me why it's bad. And then you're going to give me your own versions in segments 2 and 3. And of course, segment 4 is biggest waste of money of the week and the news. So let's get to it. I've got visuals today. If you want to see said visuals, simply go to YouTube/Pizza Planner. All right. Ideal household budget. Ideal household budget. What I always say when I present this is, in a perfect world, of which doesn't exist, this is how your money should flow. 25% towards housing. This is after tax. This is take home pay. This is household income. Why am I doing this cadence? 25%. Kristen, this alone, does this invalidate my entire pie chart?
It's so hard because the 25% doesn't take into account, household size or where you're located in the US. So if I'm presenting the ideal budget, this is the one that I usually catch the most pushback from when I'm giving this information to someone.
Dame, in that moment, I just realized that I created this and then Kristen has to answer for it.
We regularly do, yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Dame, what do you think about this one?
Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, I think the 25% essentially blows up pretty much everything else here, because 25% now, almost irregardless of where you live, that's a really tough stretch for a lot of folks.
It was ideal when I created this darn thing, and meaning few people executed on it by choice or by accident. And now fewer people are able to execute this. But I will note I shouldn't, but there is a note. One of the reasons I created this, this secret reason, was to help people with retirement planning, to say which pieces of these pies can you eliminate so that your retirement is actually easier. So let's say this is bumping to 30% in whatever you two present here later. Now I'm saying, well, theoretically, a person could eliminate the need for 30% of their income as opposed to 25, which helps the purposes, but maybe I'm just equivocating. 15% towards transportation. Dame, 15% towards transportation. Holds water today or nah?
I think that one's really tough, honestly, because things have changed a lot since you created this on a couple different fronts. Transportation's a lot more expensive. And 2, work from home culture is way more prevalent than it was before. So you may not be traveling nearly as much as you were did you say when this was, what year this was created?
I tried to. I was in, I moved there.
Sophomore in high school. Doesn't matter. 2012 sounds great. But the point is, things have changed tremendously in transportation, very, very specifically. So 15%, I don't think that's quite right either.
Is it too high or too low?
I think it might be too high.
Kristen, average car payment in these United States is $700 American dollars, which is makes me want to vomit. What do you think about 15%?
Bad word. Thank you. The 15%, I would say, is probably too high. Just because the average car payment is $700+ doesn't mean that that's what we should be spending on transportation. So I think the 15%, though I get a lot of pushback on this as well. But the thing is, these percentages have to add up to 100. So it's got to come from somewhere else. That's the hardest part.
You just captured the essence of this entire discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Of part of the idea of it being ideal is that you only got 100 to play with, fam, as the kids say. You only got 100 to play with. So you can tell me I'm wrong, but you got to find it somewhere, which brings us to groceries and dining out. I really sat on the fence with 12% in the OG version of this. Kristen, 12% towards groceries and dining out. How do you get down with that?
I don't think it's enough.
I love this. This is going exactly how I wanted. Dame?
It's way too low. That's not how it's going to work these days. As people are, grocery food's more expensive. People are into convenience because we're super busy. It's 12% is just not enough.
10% towards savings. Dame, will stick with you. And this is savings of take-home pay. And I've also said it's either savings or debt pay down for consumer debt. This is not necessarily retirement pay or retirement savings because I'm saying that's coming out before your take-home pay. What do you feel about 10%?
I really like it as a target. I think it's really hard for most people to achieve 10%.
I'm okay with that, Kristen.
Pretty much feel the exact same way as Dame. Like, yeah, if you are trying to build your emergency fund, but I think if someone has some of those things established, it's unlikely that they're still contributing 10% to some sort of short or intermediate savings.
Kristen, let me guess. I'm just going to take a wild stab on my next one for both of you, that my 5% charitable contribution is deemed just not down to earth in today's environment.
I love where your heart was at with this, Pete. I just do. Like, and you always say that if you take more from your community than you give, your community will suffer. And I don't disagree with the sentiments and the heart behind this, but 5% is just not happening.
Young man?
It's a great target. I will tell you in practice, not many people come anywhere close to 5%. So
okay.
It's not, you can say it as a target, but most people aren't coming anywhere close to it.
Despite the fact that I'm getting blown up here, I feel okay because we've got some too high, some too low, and they're starting to balance out though. You're to the idea that you only got 100%. We got a minute and a half to get through the rest of mine before we get to Dame's in the next segment. Clothing 5%. Dame, what do we think about that?
Too high.
Kristen?
I think it's probably too high.
Wait until there's baby clothes to buy. Just you wait, Queen.
Hand-me-downs.
Oh, yeah, hand-me-downs. Do you really think your man's clothes are going to fit baby girl? The visual on that's amazing. 5% towards entertainment. Dame, classically, I don't enjoy fun. So this is too high for me. What do you think?
I think it's too low.
Wow. Kristen, you're the queen of concerts, amongst other things. Too high, too low?
I would like to think that this is right on the money, but for most people, I think it's too low.
Speed round. Medical at 5%. This is after-tax medical. Dame?
It's on the money. I'll stay with 5.
Kristen Marie Elenius?
High.
Holidays and gifts, 5%. Dame?
People don't need stuff. Too high.
Kristen?
Too low.
Miscellaneous. Dame?
I like her.
She's great. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to calm down. We're going to take a break. And coming up after the break, Dame is going to give his version of the ideal household budget, and we can ridicule him. If you missed any part of the show, find it at the Pete the Planner podcast. All that snacks right here on the Pete the Planner show. I'm Pete the Planner. I almost hit end stream as I was wrapping up that segment.
Bye.
Dame, have you seen the trend on the socials? You're not on socials that much, right?
I'm more than I care to be, but so give me a try.
What's your drug?
Caffeine?
No. Which of the socials?
Aspartame.
Aspartame.
Probably TikTok, honestly.
Whoa, Gramps.
I know.
What?
Just scrolling.
I just Kristen, what's your drug of choice?
Reddit.
Is that really
Reddit?
Social? I mean, that doesn't feel socially. That just feels like people arguing and complaining, like most other social media.
You have to get into Reddit.
I know close to nothing about Reddit, and I'll just give you my perception, which is wildly off base because I don't know any. This is, you want to talk about judging a book by its cover. I hear Reddit. I hear two things: massive nerd alert, and I hear conspiracy theories. That's what I think of when I think of Reddit. And are any of those, is that off base or no?
It skews way more liberal than you're giving it credit for.
Well, that's maybe the nerd alert back. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
One of my best friends is like way deep in Reddit. He's like sending, our group chat, like send Reddit links all the time. I'm like, dude, I don't even know how that works. I'm not clicking on it. Anyway, on the socials here recently, there's been this trend of videos of podcast audio changed to AI via AI, changed to a baby as the host delivering the content. And one of our engineers last night sent this to the team. I wanted to share it for the visual here. This is what the Pete the Planner podcast would look like if I were a baby. Good morning, everyone. It's the Pete the Planner show. This episode brought to you by Indiana 529. Indiana 529 Education Savings Plan offers a simple tax smart. Wait, guys, I can't read. When the baby says I can't read is actually the funniest part.
It's perfect. Yeah.
It is good.
I just realized we have comments on the show as though this is the first time I've done it. So I've literally just ignored our entire audience this time. I'm sorry.
It was a high stakes first segment. You were putting your life's work out there for critique, and you got it. So,
no, we always talk about we don't want. What's the phrase? You don't want perfect to get in the way of good, or what is it? They can't great. What's
perfect. You don't want perfect to be the enemy of good.
I don't know.
Right. So over the years, I've put out content, and then when I look back on it, and it's just sprinkled with time, we do find ourselves in situations like this of like, yeah, this is unrealistic. We probably got to redo it. I feel that way about a lot of stuff I've said over the years, which I guess I'll just say at least I'm owning it. There are some people that publish content that will fight to the death that you can average 12% on mutual fund. But whatever. I mean, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's so underhand. That's so passive aggressive.
Indeed.
You know what? That was so passive aggressive. I'm at least going to name it. Dave Ramsey tends to stick to this idea that you can average 12% over time, and that's how you calculate things. But
vehemently, that is something that he will stand on.
Like, here's the thing: when he said it back in the day, with a snapshot, you could argue it was true with the snapshot that existed at the time. But so much time has passed, and the data just doesn't support it, and it's like, why dig in? What's the point of digging in?
I just think that's who he is.
Oh, no one knows. Okay. Are we back to doing this here?
Sure.
We're moving.
Are we showing our versions of the budget? Because like I have mine in a Google Doc. It might be better to do, because like Dame, you have yours written out too, right?
Yeah, but then we have to unveil it all at once.
Yeah, we can talk through it. We'll just go slow.
I just, as someone who is very visual, I feel like I'm about to struggle.
Well, you have yours in front of you, so.
I don't have yours.
Boy, the podcast listener are just like, yes, spend time debating visuals.
I'm sorry.
Well, Dane, why don't can you guys just share within the Slack channel so you can
send you an image?
Yeah, whatever. I don't have the concern, but team player.
Sorry, podcast listeners.
No, it's all right. No, you know what? We're gonna get going. We'll get going. Dame's going now. And I'm making him chew gum and walk at the same time. Here. We ready?
Yeah, go for it.
And 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. It's good to be with you. During the break of this show, radio listeners, it's a glorious time. If only you could see a behind the scenes look of the show as it's being recorded. Oh, you can go to youtube.com/Pete the Planner and you can do that. And go ahead and smash that like button. Dame, we just blew up my ideal household budget, which has been a pillar of my work of my career. And now what we're going to say is, Dame, if there was Dame the darn planner and he were to come up with an ideal household budget in the year 2025 AD, what would it look like? And so, like the Beastie Boys, I pass the mic to you.
I remember yesterday when we were kind of spitballing this idea, and I said, do you want us to follow the same categories so we can see how closely we relate on certain things? And then Kristen was like, too many rules. Mm-hmm. I took that to heart. So I kind of went a completely different direction. You are not expecting this from me. I'm sorry. But if we were going to change things up, I leaned into it. We are changing things up.
Okay, so here's what I'm hearing. I don't want to, get into your segment here. I'm hearing Krav Maga lessons at the top.
Self edification is very high. No, let's just start. Let's be reasonable here.
Here we go.
My first category, titled survival, which I guess could be Krav Maga lessons. Survival. That will include
dried beef.
Yeah. Things like housing, food, utilities. It's a big category, but you've got flexibility. See, the problem with a lot of budgets is that there's so many categories that people get overwhelmed and they don't want to track all of these different things and they feel hemmed in. And if you can give them more opportunity to make decisions on how they're going to spend those dollars over a few different categories, that will help account for different regional differences. It'll help for how they choose to live their life. If they want to have a nice house, but they don't have to they can use public transportation. They don't have to have their own car, all sorts of stuff. So survival, 50% of your income goes to survival.
So many thoughts, but I'm going to defer to the smart one. Kristen, you go first.
Well, it's funny because one of our Facebook commenters actually kind of proposed this very idea, and I don't hate it, but the 50% kind of 50%, like, is that enough?
Oh, jeez. You guys are trying to kill me. I had pre-workout this morning. My heart's already ready to explode.
Pete, what say you about my proposal?
Like, I'm being honest here. I don't know if what I'm about to say is right. It's just what I think. The reason I put miscellaneous so low in my budget is because I think when you have these large encompassing categories, it actually becomes harder for people to stick to a budget than easier. And so while I like the idea that it's a category and then you could theoretically have subcategories within it, where does it stop? I mean, survival is medical care. Survival is food. Survival is therapy. Survival is weaponry. Like, where do we stop?
Well, that's one category, Pete. I haven't even gotten to any of the other ones yet. And you're saying, where do you stop? Well, I've got other stuff.
Well, I'm just saying okay. Well, I'm skeptical. Pete, it doesn't lessen my love for you.
There's no one right way to budget. If there was, that book would have been written. The author would be sending us inspirational pictures from the island he bought from the proceeds from the Caribbean islands.
Yeah, I mean, when you get 12% a year. Go ahead, Dave. What's next?
Next category, future you. Could be savings, could be paying down debt, could be insurance needs, life insurance likely. 10% of your budget.
How many CBD products did you use this week?
0.
Wow. I mean, Dame, this is big thinking.
I blew it up.
This is so different than what your brain normally does. I'm struggling to relate because I'm so used to how you think.
I know.
Kristen, help us here.
10%, if we're including, you said savings, debt pay down, insurance.
Yeah. So I like the categories more than the percentages that I came up with for the categories. I mean, you could absolutely beat me up on the percentages, but I like the concept that I came up with here more than the percentages.
What about retirement future me? Is that pre all of this?
Yeah,
or-
that came out before this even hit. That's
Okay. So this is like Kristen wants a pool in 5 years. 10%. Okay. Okay.
What about despicable me?
well, you've got decisions that you have to make too, even if you are wretched.
Dame, I'm almost speechless around this, which is nearly impossible. But I think it's growing on me. I think with a couple days, I may steal this as my own. Like, I don't know. This is interesting.
Should I try number 3 and see?
Well, I mean, are you really feeling that lucky, Punk? Like you're 50%. Okay. What's the next? What was the one you just did? 25?
10.
10?
10. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that thing. I didn't even listen to the percentage. That fell off. But you said
percentage is a little up. Next one, convenience.
oh, Lord.
Delivery, subscriptions, tech tools. It's just convenience. Try and
I
make your
like
life
it.
a little easier.
Sliced bread.
Yes. Love sliced bread.
Shredded cheese.
Convenience.
I
Dave,
don't-
this is so weird. I love it, but I also hate it so much, but it's great.
Yeah.
I was kind of on board until this one.
Really? I can't. It's like a mango habanero is what this is. It's like, I like it.
Just so you know, Pete, I have no idea where we are in the segment. I forgot to start my clock, so you'll have to give me a cue before.
Oh, you're good. Mark it right now at 2 minutes right now.
Okay. Next category, mental health and escape, talking entertainment, travel, self-care. This is the stuff that keeps you from spiraling. All right.
Love it.
Another 10%.
10% for escape rooms seems really high.
Well, you haven't been to good escape rooms.
Have we done it? We've done a couple escape rooms together, haven't we?
Yeah.
One?
Mhm.
And
Kristen,
here we are.
yeah, we made it. Kristen, I'm over the percentages at this point with Dan. Like, I don't even care about his percentages. I'm so stuck on his way of thinking.
Good. That was the whole point. Don't pay attention to the percentages.
Are we
Just-
liking this?
I like the categories. I specifically really like calling out mental health and what did you call it? Escape. I have a similar category, spoiler. And I really like that a lot.
But like
So we gotta-
escape, it could be like ketamine. I mean, it could be like all sorts of things.
Could be.
It's trendy.
It's trendy.
Ketamine therapy really is.
I know it is. I know. It's still strange to hear that out loud.
Oh.
I know you're right. What is there anything like world?
I've got two categories left. I'll just lay them both on you and you can debate them. Next one, lifestyle flex. That's gifts, fun money, pet stuff, hobbies. Last one is chaos fund. Surprise expenses, emotional purchases, stuff like that.
I don't even know what to say, man. Like this was fascinating. It's going to take me a week to figure out what I actually think about this. But kudos to you, Dame. Really, honestly, this was great.
Thanks.
I really kind of liked it.
I do too. I'm going to come out with a hot take next week on this. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I just got to stew on it. I have to listen to the show.
Can't wait.
Speaking of the show, coming up after the break, Kristen reveals her ideal household budget right here on the Pete the Planner Show. Pete the Planner. Dame. Jeez. I've never seen anything like that from you. I love it.
I started off way too tied to the rules and then just started going off the rails.
Because I said too many rules.
I'm a rule person. Like my wife says I'm very black and white, like very Boy Scoutish about rules. So that one blew my mind.
Well, I hope you have time to think about it. And
David said segment of the year. Bravo. Oh my gosh.
David, I haven't even gone yet.
I hope ours is better than that, Mom.
good luck, baby.
Thank you, Uncle Dame. That was great. And I'll have some of the drugs that he just had.
David did feel very inspired by narcotics.
No narcotics were taken during the creation of that budget.
Did a dry week this week. At my age, okay, Kristen, you're going to just have to listen. Dame, at our age, it's just so much smarter.
Oh, yeah.
So just sleep so much better.
Yeah. I mean, sleep is becoming kind of a fleeting thing for me at this point anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Unisom.
That's what I do.
Drugs?
That's a habit forming pill, isn't it?
It says non-habit forming.
Oh, does it? I don't know.
Everything says it's not habit forming.
I think it's just an antihistamine. Just makes you drowsy.
Oh. Yeah.
What's everyone got against histamines? You know what I mean?
What about histamines?
Dame. What is wrong with you?
Terrible joke.
What's happening?
It's the shirt.
Must be that half day thing, because I'm feeling it.
What's in that cup?
Water.
Sure. Wow. Okay. I feel like there's something else going on that I wanted to talk about today. The random and stupid, which is sort of the tattoo on my lower back, but I don't remember. We'll find it next week. Oh, Dame, you kind of shook me a little bit, buddy.
Well, I mean, it was the best segment of the year, from what I've been told.
I don't know how helpful this is for disclaimers, but in regards to that Indiana 529 ad at the beginning, terms and conditions do apply.
Well timed.
Oh, that's great. You know, Christine, don't watch any TV. You don't watch any like middle-aged sad man action stuff.
Indeed.
Okay. Dame, you don't though either.
Not really.
I think my favorite show ever, I'm close top 3. Like The Wire is still at the top, but
okay.
Top 3 ever is Bosch.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'm watching it through for the second time. It's so good.
I think I watched a couple episodes of that, and it just didn't stick because I just don't watch that much TV. But it should be a show that I really like. I will say that.
Sometimes those streamers, what shows that are on streams, you're like, wow, this should be on a network, and then you're like, well, it would somehow be ruined if it was.
Was that a USA show when it premiered?
No, I think it's just Prime Video is what it is. I want Dame or someone to release a graphic of Dame's mythical budget tour. Illustrations would be amazing.
We'll put marketing on that right away.
They'll be thrilled.
AI would love that. Dame, I love. You should send in a Friday afternoon marketing order. That would really land you
for the show.
Even I know better than that.
Yeah.
Okay, Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest. This is gonna be really hard to top. Are you ready?
I am more than prepared. I spent lots of time last night just
Oh, yes, you
typing
did.
away.
I wanted to go to bed.
Correct, but my laptop was on her, so
Your laptop, warm, heat source, snuggle up to it.
oh my.
Okay, sorry.
All right. I think I might be the only person entertained by that. I've just thought through it a little bit this week. I love that. And I don't know if anyone else does. And I actually don't care. Other than if you hate it, I'd have to stop.
No, I don't really care.
Now, if your sister hates it, I don't care. All right.
She does, so.
Right,
Dame, is it a little bit funny, Dame?
It was.
There it is. That's true. I'm okay with that. All right. 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. Hey, listen. Years and years and years ago, I came up with a budget, an ideal household budget. I said, world, if you have monies from works and it makes it to your bank account, this is how that money should be distributed to all the expenses you have. This was a long time ago. I'm guessing 15 years ago. I'm not sure, but probably 15 years ago. The world has changed, as Michael Jackson had taught us. And so at this point in time, it needs to change the budget. And on this episode, Dame just gave his version of what that looks like if you live in Sedona. And then now Kristen is going to give her version of the ideal household budget. We're all ears.
Okay, so the very first thing that I did that's different is mine's not based on the same take-home pay that your guys's was.
Okay. How did you structure it?
So it is based on your net income, but just your post-tax income. So in my budget, I allocated for all health expenses and all retirement, because not including those in the budget, I think doesn't allow people to see the value in those dollars that they're not seeing before they don't hit their bank account, essentially.
Sounds like a nerd to me.
Time out.
Oh,
So that's interesting. Don't hate it. But then doesn't it sort of sit on the fence between a traditional 401k contribution and a Roth 401k contribution?
I didn't get that fancy with it, to be honest.
Oh, so it's an oversight.
Oh,
No, it's okay. No. Look, my budget's broke. Power percentage has weird leaps of logic. So it's okay. Like, we're trying to get concepts here. Let's keep it going. I like this.
Okay.
What percentage? Oh,
Okay.
that's just the rules.
Those are just the rules. So my categories look a little bit different, and you have to think that my percentages probably look a little bit different because I'm playing, like, my number is going to be a little different than your guys's.
Sure.
So first is I kept housing at 25%.
Well,
interesting.
didn't you just tell me that mine was too low?
Yeah, but doesn't mean that I think that it's bad medicine. I still think that if you spend more than that on housing, you're putting yourself in a position to potentially struggle. So I kept the 25%.
Dame, how does that jibe with survival?
It feels like she's trying to put a foot in two ponds here. I mean, she says it's too high and then it's just right for her. I don't understand. The dissonance here is just a little jarring for me.
But the part about that, though, to be fair to her, which I don't like to do, is that she's going to have a naturally higher take-home pay because she's added retirement and medical back in. But let's just see how this works out, because so far, like, my brain's spinning a little bit. All right.
Okay. So next category, a lot of mine are similar to yours, Pete, but I did change a lot of percentages. So my next category is all things transportation, 10%.
When you say all things, are you including like a Vespa or
if that's your preferred mode of transportation, yes. Insurance, gas, parking, maintenance, public transit, car payments, Uber, rideshare type, all of it.
You had me at parking.
Indeed.
Oh, I mean, look, I was doing a little bit of research this morning, and I think a lot of experts are between that 10 to 15% on transportation. So I'm appeasable to that. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you a thumbs up.
Okay. And I have a lot of categories, so we might have to be a little quick.
Okay, we're at 4 minutes, Queen.
I know. I did the exact opposite of Damien, and I thought people needed more structure in their categories. So the next one is groceries and food, 14%.
Okay.
Yeah, that's higher than what the Pete's wrong budget has. So yeah, I'll go for that.
Okay, no grievances. My next one is totally unique. You did not do this at all in the ideal budget, and this is a category for wellness. So this is all health-related spending: your insurance premiums, your prescriptions, your co-pays. You go to therapy, your gym membership, all things mental and physical health. 10%.
Man, I'm gonna have to get my head around that this week because I got to do some math.
Yeah, I was just I clearly like the concept since I have a very similar thing in mind. The numbers, which I had 10% as well. Sorry about that. I'm just not sure if the 10% is legit.
It's actually a little low for the national average, but as far as like healthcare costs, but I do think that the average skews a little bit because those who have high expenses have high expenses.
Yeah,
That's true. I'm liking the structure. The structure. Let's keep it rocking.
Future you, your retirement, 10%.
Stolen concept.
Kristen, is that inclusive of employer match, or is that strictly money that's coming out of your?
Just me.
Okay.
That's my contributions to my 401k, 403b, IRA, HSA. If you're not spending the dollars right away, long-term me.
Okay.
What was the percentage?
10.
Seems low, honestly. Seems really low.
3?
Yeah, it's really low.
It is not low because in an ideal world, you're seeking out employment that has a match. And so if that match is at least 3%, we're at the 12 to 15% recommendation.
Yeah, but then there's the other elements. We want 12 to 14% to long term. Okay, so let's say you put 11%. Let's say you have
your employer
4%.
puts 3.
Okay, but then you've got emergency savings, you've got college, you got all those things.
Hold on. We're not even there yet.
Well, those things happen in the future.
Well, future you, retirement. Let's make it more retirement.
Elderly you. Okay.
Old you. Okay. Because I did elect short-term savings and emergency fund. So once your emergency fund is full, this is for like your short-term wants, 3%.
I'll stand down, but I think that's low. But go ahead.
I'm running out of money.
Yeah, we're out of money at this point.
It feels low, but I know what reality says for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Where's charity? Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Utilities, 8%.
Do you can include streaming and Wi-Fi and all that stuff in utilities or not?
You could put it there. I had 2 other categories where someone could elect to put those dollars. I wasn't super firm on that.
Okay.
I think this works. I've heard oil lamps are coming back in vogue, so this is right on the money.
With oil prices as low as they are. Go ahead, Kristen. What's next?
Wear and care. This is
that's
clothing, shoes, toiletries, personal hygiene items, haircuts, clean, comfortable, confident. 5%.
I would have gone wear, care, and hair, but you do it the way you want.
5%. See, there's a lot of stuff there for 5%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, the amount of money Pete and I spent on hair care products alone is staggering.
Dame, do you put sunscreen on your head or you just wear a hat?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to the track today and I got a hat, but I don't really put sunscreen on my scalp. I feel like maybe I should.
Yeah, you should.
Thanks. Kristen, back to you.
We have to do speed round because we're going to run out of time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious. Experiences and vices, 3%. Streaming, hobbies, travel sports, whatever. Giving, 3%. Charity, helping out family, religious contributions, 3%. Totally life stage spending. This is the weirdest one. This is childcare, tuition, student loans, professional development, expenses tied to a current season of life that feel like a treadmill, 7%.
I can squeeze travel sports into that stage.
Good.
Okay, so we're at 210%. What about the rest of the category?
We are not. I gave a 2% miscellaneous, and that is truly 100% now.
Guys, this was fun. This was fun. And I got to get my head around it. I'm going to have to listen back. I'm actually going to have to run my percentages of yours. Wow. Okay. Well, coming back after the break, here's what we're going to do. Biggest waste of money of the week in the news. And then we're going to have to vote who has the best amongst us, right? So I don't know how the voting works on that. There'll be a plurality. One of us will be the Pope. All of that's next. Biggest waste of money this week is a doozy, but they almost always are. Right here on the Pete the Planner Show, I'm Pete the Planner. That was fun.
Yeah, those of you in the comments, feel free to go ahead and vote to whose budget is the best.
Good call, Dame. It could be the OG, but I don't. There's no bots because I think you guys did a really good job. And by the way, I gave you 24 hours notice. You start to see how hard it is. and you both know you give mass advice for a living as well as incredibly personal advice. It's really hard to be inclusive creating content like that. It's just really hard.
It is. And in fact, we didn't have time to do this in the radio show. I knew we wouldn't. And so I left it out. But I really wanted to come up with a budget that wasn't based on income and percentages, but was based on household size, because that's where I really felt like my budget would fall apart. Because to kind of like gut check some of my percentages, like you guys were like, well, I don't know, maybe healthcare, like, or your wellness category is not enough. I put in the median household income and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so generous for a household of one. And I was like, but if this was a household of like three, some of these categories make no sense. Like, I need more money for food. Like, utilities don't proportionally increase as your income goes up, usually, for example. So it was like, man, am I really coming at this from the wrong angle? But I knew we did not have enough time to do that on the show.
And I will readily admit that my budget will be abhorrent to a lot of people because there's just not enough structure to it. But I wanted to come at it from a completely different angle, and I did.
Yeah, Dave, to that point, my gut tells me budgeting nerds will hate yours.
Yes.
But people who struggle to budget will like it.
Yeah.
Which was your point of like, there's not one budget to fit all.
Mhm.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I like that.
And mine was really rooted in behavior of like not putting certain expenses in front of our brains. We then tend to undercount or discount exactly how important those things are. Like when someone's comparing job offers, looking at total comp can sometimes be a struggle because they're not actively looking at how much money they're spending on their total healthcare costs, because it's just payroll deducted. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Damn, you know what I like to think about in my free time is that like 15 years from now, when you and I are really old, Kristen is still a young filly with a child that would be a teen at that point, how much she's going to spend on youth travel sports. Like, I love thinking about that.
We already fight about not spending money on cattle shows. So that'll be her version of travel sports, probably.
You had to spend, okay, maybe a different show. Can you help me understand? Okay, I'm just teeing it up. Tell me later because we don't have time. You have to spend money on cattle shows?
If she wants to show cattle.
But what's the expense? You guys have cows.
Yeah. Entry fees, the animals themselves, all their care and needs, traveling to those things.
The big, shiny new 3/4 ton truck to pull the trailer everywhere.
To pull the new trailer.
But, I mean, again, I could do maybe an hour on this, but you got to pay an entry fee to show someone your cow?
I guess. I've never done one.
Okay. I say this with love. I'm just trying to figure it out, right? Like, and you can turn it and ask
money.
It's what?
It's because you win money. Like if you're the winner.
Oh, you win money?
Correct.
Well, that would change travel sports. Danza sleeping in this morning. What are we doing, Danza? You missed the best show of the year.
The best segment.
Eric with the great question. What's the power percentage each of your budgets would yield?
Depends on how much home equity you have, Eric.
Eric, it's a Friday. I cannot do not do that. Okay. Let's go. Let's move on. Oh my gosh. My head is spinning, Dame. That's great.
Well, they give you something to think about this weekend in your side yard.
Courtyard.
It's the courtyard. Let's just, like, no, go on. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week right here on the Pete the Planner Show is not that. Is, oh no. Hold on. Not that. Okay, you're not going to see it. If you're the Griffin Antilleon Revelation amplifier. All right. Those serious about sound know that pure Class A power is the best. That's exactly what the Griffin Antilleon Revelation delivers. It has a dual mono plus Class A design with dual 20 amp AC inlets. I keep trying to get it up on screen. 2 separate custom 1150 volt toroidal transformers to handle the circuits, and a third independent power supply for the digital control circuitry. 40 bipolar Toshiba output transistors. Kristen, are you writing this down? The same type used in the brand's flagship Apex model, and proprietary binding posts, ensuring massive pitch-perfect bass, precise treble, and lifelike three-dimensional mid-range performance. Available at 165 watts per channel stereo and 180 watts per channel mono configuration from mid-August. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry you've not been able to see it. I'm going to try to get it up on the screen for you so you can enjoy it. There it is.
Oh.
Okay, this is an amplifier for you listening to music. It looks like a household printer that's going to break in 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got?
So, you know what? Go ahead, Kristen.
No, please.
Pete, spell Griffin. I want to know how they spell it. Is it
Because you're
somebody's
Googling because you cheat?
No, I just want to know.
Gryphon.
Okay. Sounds pretentious.
Oh,
Well, it's
I
out
see.
of my mouth.
I have absolutely no idea. This is $400.
Okay, it's a guess.
That is, this is serious audiophile stuff. There's no chance that this is under 10 grand. I mean, because she's off and I'm going to win, I'm going to say 10 grand.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you both at $45,500. Dame, what's in the news this week?
The U.S. is bleeding tourism dollars like a luxury hotel with no air conditioning. That means it's expensive, uncomfortable, and suddenly not worth the trip. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, the U.S. is on pace to lose $12.5 billion in travel revenue in 2025. That's a 7% drop from last year and 22% from 2019, when international visitors spent a record $217 billion here. Of the 184 countries tracked by the WTTC, how many are expecting a decline? 184.
184 countries. How many are expecting a decline?
A reduction in tourism revenue.
Kristen, I'll let you go first. I have a really iconic guess here.
I was going to say, I don't know what the number is. I was going to say 15 to 20%.
Okay, that's
Okay, well, that's interesting because I was going to say the number 10, which is actually like 8% or something like that. Okay.
1. We are it. We are the only country projected to have a decline. We're number 1, folks. Number 1.
Kristen, what's Reddit tell you as to why this is?
I shouldn't say on the air.
Dame, you have any thoughts?
No thoughts at all on this one whatsoever.
That's unfortunate. What else is in the news?
Earlier this week, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at lowering prescription drug prices in the U.S., calling on pharmaceutical companies to bring their prices in line with what they charge other countries or face consequences. For context, U.S. drug prices average nearly 3 times higher than those in other developed nations. The order tasks Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with setting price targets. Drug makers will have 6 months to show progress, though what qualifies as progress is anybody's guess. If they don't comply, Trump says he'll consider regulatory actions, company-specific tariffs, or more drug imports under a most favored nation policy.
I couldn't have any more mixed feelings because on one level, I'm like, good. But on another level, I'm like, what about free markets?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really stuck on it. And then the idea of like company-based tariffs, if they don't comply, Dame, what you've taught me more than anything, the word comply is never a fun one.
No, rarely a fun word with positive connotation.
Yeah, what do you think, Kristen?
It's so odd because it's one of those, you see the headline of like lower cost prescription drugs and you're like, yeah, that seems like such a good idea. And then you read about it and you feel the same way that the two of you felt of like, how do I feel about our president saying that this is something that you have to do or else? Don't love that.
Yeah, here's the weird part about it. And I read 2 paragraphs on this. So at least I'm disclaiming it.
Okay.
Oh, good. So I am an expert. Listen to these words. From what I read, the Biden administration had a similar idea out there that has been canceled because we have a new administration, understandably. And that this action is similar, although it's got all these teeth, right? It had the same idea of trying to lower drug prices, but the Trump administration went further and said, we will penalize you if you don't. So that's interesting too, right? Because whereas we're like, yeah, we all want lower drug prices, please do it. The fact that there was no teeth on the Biden administration one, does that mean it was going to be more likely to get lower drug prices or less likely because it came at a different approach? Like, how in the world can you figure that one out?
I don't know. I had no idea. And then you throw in the integration with insurance in all of this. I mean, it's a mess. I really wish it wasn't this complicated, but it is.
I'm going with 2-paragraph news, Pete, today, which is just irresponsible. What was the CEO of the healthcare CEO that was murdered in New York? What was the company?
United Healthcare.
I read an article, 2 paragraphs, this morning that basically said since his murder, the business has been crumbling.
I've got that story. You want me to read it?
Yes.
United Health Group, the largest health insurer in the United States, is having a rough stretch, one that now includes a reported criminal investigation. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Justice Department is probing UHG for possible fraud tied to its Medicare Advantage business. The company called the report, quote, deeply irresponsible, because of course they would, and said it hasn't been contacted by the DOJ. This comes on top of civil fraud investigations for alleged overbilling, an ongoing antitrust probe, and a series of internal and external crises. First, of course, the company's CEO, the one current, abruptly resigned this week. UHG suspended its 2025 sales forecast. Investors are suing and alleging the company downplayed the fallout from the December murder of their then CEO. And it's still reeling from the massive Change Healthcare cyber attack that may have exposed data from up to 100 million customers. The market noticed. United Health has plummeted from the top of the Dow to the middle of the pack in just a month. Its stock dropped over 50%, its worst 1-month decline ever. Meanwhile, the feds aren't stopping with UHG. A civil suit filed this month accuses Aetna, Humana, and Elevance of gaming Medicare Advantage plans to juice government payments.
It's so complicated.
Wow.
That's the old 2 things can be true of don't murder people. And also wow, there's a lot of smoke there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also don't murder people.
Especially that one.
Don't murder people. A lot of smoke there. Yeah. Wow. What else? Got about one more.
Dick's is buying Foot Locker in a $2.4 billion play for youth sneakers and global reach. Pete, if you had to guess how many standalone stores Foot Locker has, how many would you guess?
Read this story and I forget. I've already forget. Again, I can't.
2,400 locations in 20 countries.
Oh,
20 countries. They say that's one of the reasons that Dick's is going, because Dick's doesn't have an international footprint. Foot Locker does. Nike will make up about 35% of Dick's sales post-merger if this goes through.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think it goes through. I mean, what I was reading, I just don't see it happen. Anyway, Dave, thanks, Kristen. Thanks for all of you sending good vibes, because good vibes are all that's in the budget. This has been the Pete the Planner show. We never told the radio audience who had the best budget.
Doesn't matter. They don't care.
Gee, many Christmas, Dame. And Grandma listens to that. I don't think she does. I don't think she can hear it. I'm going to the track. I grew up in Speedway, Indiana, and I'm migrating right back to my homeland.
Make sure to put sunscreen on your head.
mm-hmm.
I will. I've switched to the 6-inch inseams short, Dame. What's your inseam on your shorts these days?
Longer than 6 inches.
Well, no, I was I'm just, I don't know. I've switched to the 6. I might go to the 5.
You've got some quads now, though. I mean, with that leg press, I mean, show them off. I mean, not here, but just show them off.
No, I mean, I'm attracting all types with these stems.
Nice.
Kristen, I am not going to ask the inseam of anything that you own.
Thank you.
Dave, how is that I feel wildly comfortable to you, like, hey, what's the inseam of your shorts? And then, Kristen, you're a nice person. Like, you can't do the same thing. Like, and I shouldn't, and I won't.
Yeah.
It's an innocuous question.
They don't even measure women's shorts like that, really.
They don't?
Really?
Mm-mm.
How do you
I mean,
know?
they're just like shorts or Bermuda shorts.
Bermuda shorts. What year is this?
They're back, I think.
I'm asking the wrong.
What are Bermuda shorts? Are just longer ones like all the
You don't remember the Old Navy jingle?
They're shaped like a triangle. But no. Yeah.
That's quick.
Thank you. What's the Old Navy jingle? Go ahead and give it to us, Chris.
I will not. Nope.
Boy, nothing like bringing it up.
It's great.
I'm going to bail off that reference. All right. Hey, good show, you two. That was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for your time and sense. Go to Indiana 529, myindiana529.com, myindiana529.com, and put in a picture of the person you're saving for and maybe win $529 contribution. Do it by May 29th. And just so you know, terms and conditions apply. Stay getting money.
Get ready for full throttle coverage as we shift into high gear for Business at the Brickyard, presented by Liuna with support from the City of Westfield and Daniel's Family Vineyard and Winery. We're giving you the inside track on the powerful connection between motorsports and the Indiana economy. Join us at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for exclusive interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and the stories that drive the business of motorsports. So buckle up and join us for Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard coverage all month long.